On this date in Twisted History. On May 10th, 1933, the ruling Nazi Party staged massive book burnings all throughout Germany. What kind of books did they burn? The books of traitors, immigrants, and authors from foreign countries who the Germans thought were attacking the new Germany. H.G. Wells was particularly hated. The literature of Marxism, communism, Bolshevism, and socialism, pacifist literature. The Bible was not included. Literature with liberal, democratic tendencies. All historical writings that didn't agree with Germany's perceived perfection as a race or people. Books that advocated art, where the art was perceived as decadent or bloodless. Writings on sexuality and sexual education that served the egocentric pleasure of the individual, where the sex wasn't being used as a tool to increase the German race. Any books by Jewish authors, except for the Bible. Any popular entertainment that depicted life in a superficial, sickly sweet, or unrealistic manner. Pippi Longstockings was out, just like any books by Mark Twain. Pornography. Pornography was burned. Lastly, any book that was seen as degrading to the ideal of German purity. Americans of this time thought that such acts were evil and undemocratic. Even though they were disgusted by some of the material being destroyed, the act itself angered them. So, what did Americans do after the war? Well, in 1948, preachers, priests, teachers, and parents decided to burn their children's comic books. Why? Because reading comic books was a useless pastime, time better spent reading the Bible and doing homework. In 1953, U.S. Senator Joseph McCarthy encouraged Americans to burn and destroy books and materials produced by any controversial persons, communists, or fellow travelers. In 1966, Southern preachers and the Ku Klux Klan demanded and implored the local population to bring their Beatles albums and paraphernalia to the big bonfire events planned throughout the Bible Belt. Why? To burn it, of course. Why? Because John Lennon, one of the singers of the Beatles, had stated in an interview that the Beatles were more popular at that time than Jesus was. And last but not least, there were the book burnings that many local churches throughout the southern United States would have in the 1970s and 1980s, when their preachers needed a little extra mojo to encourage a little extra tithing giving. They'd encourage their congregations to bring their children's records, science fiction books, D&D games, comic books, as well as the husband's secret stashes of porn, just so they could get right with God. Sometimes it seems we only hate book burnings when someone we don't like is doing it. To wrap up, during this day and age, just remember when a group of people drape themselves in God and flag, listen to what they say. Listen to how they degrade the intellectuals of their society. Pay attention to the information they want to ban. It's not just the Nazis who did it.
Some historical events are pre-twisted, thus requiring no additional twisting on our part. But don't worry. If you hit like, subscribe, and share now, we can save all the unused twisting for next time.